Hey all, I'm Julia from Relatable Nonprofit. Today I am joined by Eron, a rising nonprofit consultant who's been doing some amazing work building her business from the ground up. We're going to be talking about what brought Eron to the Relatable Nonprofit Mentorship Program, what shifts they've experienced, and where they're headed next. So let's start. Eron, where were you in your nonprofit career before joining the program? What were you hoping for, and what felt unclear or hard at that stage?
When I first learned about Relatable Nonprofit, I would say, pretty much stalled out in my career. I experienced several layers of burnout working full time for different organizations. And part of the burnout, I think, was also some confusion about kind of what the future of my career looked like. I didn't feel like any of my positions gave me the space for growth or the space to explore that for myself, which is something I really needed. I needed time and space to really think about that. And so I had actually left my full-time position thinking maybe I need to make a big career change. Maybe I need to go the corporate world. Oh, heaven forbid. Maybe I need to, do something wild. And to be honest with you, my heart just wasn't anywhere else. And so I was experiencing this pull between I know what I'm passionate about. I know that about myself, right? But I don't know how to move forward in a way that is healthy for me, that supports my mental health, that supported the way I needed to be with my family, that supported my future goals. So, yeah, I was in a pretty low place, I would say, and I started seeing some posts on LinkedIn, some social media stuff that really resonated with me, that caught me, that was like, okay, yes, have they been reading my diary? Basically, because I can relate, which is why it's the perfect name, right? Yeah, so that's what drew me in originally, and then I started learning more exactly what is involved with the mentorship program. And it was definitely a big decision for me to decide to make that commitment. It was something I took a long time to think about. I involved my spouse in thinking about that, and we kind of made that decision together that we were going to commit to me trying this out, to me trying to find a new way to be truer to myself in the space that I still had a lot of love for and a lot of passion for.
Oh, that's incredible. I love your story. Well, and I know once you shared in a meeting that you felt like the program sort of gave you like a permission slip.
Mm,
And
mhm.
I loved that quote. And so I was just curious if you could share about one of the mindset shifts you've experienced since starting the mentorship.
Yes, just one mindset shift is hard because there's a lot, right? And they come immediately. It wasn't like I had to dig through a lot of stuff to find the reason why this was going to shift a lot for me. But yes, the permission slip thing, it kind of, I will say for me, that's something that originated with between my therapist and myself. And I have a wonderful therapist, and we talk about, for my personality, sometimes I need to write myself permission slips.
Mhm.
And I really felt like immediately when I came into this program, the biggest mindset shift for me was about not having to be perfect immediately. It was about not having to have an entire beautifully packaged, perfected something right from the get-go. And wow, I can't tell you what a sigh of relief I breathed when I realized that you weren't just saying that was true. Like, you really believed when you said that I didn't have to be just fully on top right from the get-go. So the permission slip for me to just relax into the process, honestly, not that the process is relaxing, right? Like, there's work and there is
It's
like
work. Yeah.
there, but it is like there's no judgment there. I've never experienced any kind of judgment from anyone in the time that I've been a part of this program. I've never experienced anyone like challenging me in a way like I've never had to defend myself or things like that. Everyone is there to support. Everyone is there to say yes and, which is huge for me instead of no or but. So just a permission slip to be okay where I'm at in the moment and excited to move forward and know that the tools will come, the plans will come. Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest immediate mindset shift for me was, yeah, just feeling like I can be confident in this moment. Like I don't,
Yep.
I, yes, I have the experience. Yes, I have the ideas. And I'm going to figure out how to talk about them well. I'm going to figure out how to frame them in a way that, is attractive to clients possibly. I'm going to figure out how to price them, but
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be right this moment. So,
Oh,
yeah.
that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think a lot of people feel that pressure to be perfect, especially when it's your own business. So I totally get that. Well, then tell me a little bit about your progress and momentum. Tell me about a win that you've had since joining the program, big or small, something that you're proud of, maybe a client or a proposal sent, or even just some clarity around your niche and your services.
So this may sound strange, but I feel like my most recent win was I had a discovery call with a potential client and they decided to pass on me. And for me, what that did for me was remind me, okay, I can do the thing, right? I can conduct a discovery call. I can have a great conversation. And still, it may not be the right fit, but it's not going to devastate me. It doesn't mean that there's no future, right?
Yep.
I think I just felt really proud of that. And I feel like that has been part of this process in the program that almost like, when you're making pancakes, the first one isn't going to be perfect,
That's
right?
so true.
That first call was not perfect. There are definitely things that I have lots of notes about that I would like to do differently,
Mhm.
but I still felt proud of myself that I did it. I made the connection, I booked the call, I conducted the call, everyone was happy and pleasant, and then they just passed, and that was okay. So there's something about that I don't, as strange as it sounds, it makes me feel even more confident, like, yes, I can do this. There
Right.
will be there will be lots of yeses and lots of nos, and I can take both of those.
No, I think that's so incredible. And it's so true. I hear that from so many people in the program that, I think in major gift fundraising, you used to hear a no is not a never, it's just a not right now. And that kind of spirit, I know a lot of people are bringing to their businesses and saying, it's still a win because you still did it. Like you're saying, you still ran through the process. And if you can do it once, you can do it 1,000 times. So, I think that's incredible that you were able to even host your first discovery call, is you can do it now. So that's
Yeah.
excellent. Well, then tell me a little bit about the program, your experience with it. Is there something, maybe a lesson, a template, or a coaching call that you've attended that was most helpful or really stood out to you so far?
Oh gosh. So the weekly calls have probably been the most impactful. I really appreciate the on-demand learning. I appreciate that it is, go through it at your own pace. Those weekly calls, though, have been the thing that have kept me accountable to staying with the program. And then each week it being, a different topic makes it more interesting, right? And it makes me more motivated to attend. I just because it was the very last one, honestly, we talked about optimizing your LinkedIn profile. That just, ooh, my mind was blown. Yeah, I felt like the entire hour I was just taking notes the whole time. So it's like those have been like little nuggets of gold, honestly. Like it's hard to put a value on what those weekly calls are because they have been probably the biggest thing that has propelled me forward throughout my time in the program so far. So,
Oh, I appreciate that so much. There's something about the energy on those calls. I always feel great after we've done an hour-long session. I just feel, I don't know, there's a very good energy when everyone gets together on those calls. All right. Well, tell me a little bit about the networks. We have the on-demand learning, we have the live sessions. Have you been able to take advantage of the network at all? How does it feel being surrounded by other nonprofit consultants inside the program who are supporting your journey?
I thought, I think my original expectation when I joined was that it might feel a little bit like stuffy, forced networking, right?
Hmm.
And it has been fully the opposite. I have really appreciate that everyone is very open and candid. And, everyone's coming from all different backgrounds and perspectives, but there's something, it's hard to put your thumb on what it is that we have in common, but there's something that has brought us all together. And I think it really is that feeling of community and that energy that we share. Like when we're in those calls or when we're on the message boards, I really appreciate like people give incredible feedback. I've posted several things and the amount of thought that other people are putting into giving me feedback from the goodness of their heart, like that has been and really amazing. It's one of those things like makes you feel better about humanity.
Oh,
So you don't
yeah.
find that everywhere. You don't find it. It feels really genuine. And I think it's really cool, like that we're able to share opportunities. I see all the time people posting, hey, I saw this listing for an RFP, or I saw this listing for a job, or something like that. I mean, right now it feels really tight knit and small. And I've noticed as it's grown, it hasn't lost that feeling though. We've
Hmm.
just continued to just warmly welcome everyone in and kind of model this participation that we have with each other.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. It feels every day I log in, I'm like, I just like you said, from the goodness of people's hearts, they just want to support each other. It is very heartwarming. So I really appreciate that you've been able to see that too. And you're one of the participants, so you're someone that's giving your time. And I know everyone appreciates that. Well, then tell me a little bit. What would you say to someone who's on the fence about joining the program because they feel too new, too unclear, or they just don't think that they're ready?
Hmm. This is probably cliche, but I've kind of started living by this advice of like, you are never going to feel 100% ready. I don't know if anyone ever feels 100% ready for anything, right? Like people say it about having kids, people say it about all kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
I didn't feel 100% ready when I started. And honestly, I probably wasn't, but kind of what I talked about before, that immediate reassurance of, no, you're here because you are in exactly where you're supposed to be. There's nothing you needed to prepare to be here. You just lived your life. You had your career. And so yes, I would say, of course you're not ready. Of course you're not ready. If you were ready, you wouldn't have felt some connection to what this program offers. And what I think this program offers above making you feel ready, it offers you confidence. It offers you kind of a stronger foundation than just feeling ready to do it. It offers you this community to fall back on when you're doubting yourself. It offers you a wealth of knowledge. Yeah, and the permission slips, right? Forever, the permission slips. So, I guess if someone were to come to me saying, I'm just not sure, I would say, what's the most you have to lose? Absolute most you have to lose is maybe you join and you spend a month doing it, and maybe it's not for you, right? Like Maybe it's not cool, but that is literally the most you have to lose for that. And man, for me, it's worth it. It's worth it to take that risk. So,
I
yeah.
think it's amazing what you've been able to do in that time. And you've only been in a few months, so I really feel like you're just doing so great. So rounding out here and looking at the bigger vision of your business, where do you see yourself taking it in the next 6 to 12 months?
6 to 12 months. So, my hope is that if I'm looking at 12 months from now, I would love to be what I considered like pretty fully booked with clients. I think if you had talked to me a couple of months ago, I would have felt nervous about saying that confidently. I feel that confidently now. I feel like there's not going to be a problem in getting to that place. I feel really good about being able to meet that goal based on, again, this foundation that has been laid really carefully and thoughtfully and in a way that I'm not overreaching at this point. I feel very confident that this could be what I'm doing full time a year from now, and that's what I hope for too. So
I love
it's
that.
6 months. Maybe I'll be there by then too, but hopefully at least halfway, right?
Yep.
So
And can
yeah.
you give the audience a quick snapshot of your consulting focus? Who do you help and what can you do?
Yeah. So my focus is all about creating sustainable systems inside nonprofits that support the mission, that support the people who are supporting the mission. As someone who has been deep, deep inside of working in those systems for almost 2 decades now, I'm keenly aware of when things break down, when there's bottlenecks, things like that. And I am someone who loves taking account of the big picture and then zooming in and finding the details that we can smooth out, straighten out to make it so that nonprofits, especially small ones, small fundraising teams or very grassroots nonprofits, can fulfill these big, beautiful missions that they have in a very reachable, accessible, sustainable way. Because I think sometimes it's like we have this idea, we really want to scale. We have this incredible vision of what this could be. We don't know how to get there. And so that's what I like to do. I like to come in and say, okay, here's how we can get there. We want to go from A to Z. I've got all the letters in between. So,
That's
yeah.
perfect. And where can people learn more or connect with you?
Yeah, so I call myself the mission accomplice, and it's an easy Google, or you can go to mission-accomplice.com, and it's got my story on there. It tells about the services I offer. Soon it will have some videos up of me talking about that. And yeah, I also love to connect with anyone on LinkedIn as well. So you can find me under my name, and you can also find the mission accomplice on there as well.
Thank you so much for your time and best of luck to you in the future.
Yeah, thank you.